So I'll record our lessons, and I'll put the recording, a link to it, or I'll embed it into the D2L so that you can refer back to it later if there's anything particular that you need to go and review. So the way the course is going to go, or should I jump straight into that? I don't know. As you can see, I'm kind of winging it today, and that's because I've been told not to actually start on the theory yet, and that's because things are changing. Now, what I mean by that is that like last week, and you may have seen this on the college site, but we had a bunch of courses that were from our old diploma, and I was assigned to teach those courses, and so are other teachers. And now we've been told that we have to move over to all of the courses have to be the university degree courses. But I have heard also today, so this is what I mean, this is in a state of flux. Things haven't stabilized just quite yet. But I don't mean that in a negative way at all. You don't have to worry. Your diplomas and degrees will be quite okay. It's just that we have at this very moment a lot of changes that we have to sort of digest in a few days to get everything up and running. And so this week is going to be all online like this. Today's lesson is not going to be very theory oriented, not very theory at all. It's just sort of to just get you ready for thinking in that way. Next week, I think will be different. And so next week, I expect that we might be able to have classes here at the college. We do have an assigned classroom we have a assigned class, which is 233, building 10, and that is equipped with Apple hardware. So that is not necessary that you use Apple hardware for web development, which this course is web technologies. So we will be doing web development. Basically, that means HTML, and we could use some PHP and some JavaScript toward the end of the course, I suppose. Web technologies can include all of those things, could also include Java, could include Python, could include SQL. Basically, all of those things are used on web sites, web pages, and we will be using some, perhaps not all of those in this course, because this is really just getting us started into web technologies. And so that's what you have to look forward to, is particularly we're going to get started with some HTML. Some of it you may have done before. Yeah, still got people coming to class. That's good. So Amar's here now. Some of the names are familiar. I'm not sure if nice background. Oh, you like my background? Yeah, okay. I had to put on my, notice I had to put on my glasses to actually read that. Yeah, I just put that so you don't see my office. I am in my office, but that works better this way. So as I said, this course is web technologies. You will be working when we do come to class, and I'm very happy about and kind of almost excited about the fact that we will be in class, because of course we haven't been in class for quite a while. And so that's kind of nice that we're going to have face-to-face classes. The college, my understanding is that we're at a situation where for the next few weeks at least, and perhaps for the entire semester, the idea is that the college works at 100% of faculty should be at work every day, unless they have some situation which might be related to COVID or whatever, in which case they could work remotely. So I'm happy to say that I'm like 100% healthy as far as I know. And so I'll be coming in every day, and I'll be in my office when I'm not teaching or eating lunch or something like that. So I'll be here. You guys, my office is here in, yes, now the 50% bit, let's address that. The 50% bit is for the students. So it's 100% for the staff. 50% for the students. So, well, sorry, it's 100% for the faculty. It might be 80% for staff. So people like HR, finance, some of them have to stay home. And, I don't know how they pick it, who's going to stay home, but some of them will have to stay home. But for staff, none of us have to stay home unless we have a medical reason. For students, though, we do have to work at 50%. So that's a 50% for students. So that's kind of bad for you guys. It means that you won't have classes every day. So I don't know how that's going to work. But I guess that means that you should expect that you'd be, not coming. Maybe 1 week come, 1 week not come. So the good question there from Susanna is 2 different sections for this subject. Since we've moved to a university model, we are taking the courses each course is divided into 2 parts. One is which is a lecture, and the other of which is the lab. And so the lab and the lecture are treated as if they were two different sections. So they actually have different section numbers. So when you enroll in the lecture, they probably enrolled you in the lab at the same time with the same instructor. Not always the same instructor, because we do have some lab assistants that are going to be working with some of those labs. And so that is a very good question. Why do we have 2 different sections for the subject? And yeah, so we have a time which is set aside that you have to do the lab, and the labs are 3 hours, I think. Woo-hoo! That's going to be fun, isn't it? And then the lectures are 2 or 3 hours also. And so, yeah, that's long. You got that. It is long. But it's you'll be working away. Now, as I said, the actual lab that we'll be using is full of Apple computers, kind of big screened Apple computers, and you'll be using an editor to write HTML, I think. And so any editor would work, but we have an editor that we use there. I haven't been in there for a while. There's one that's sort of specific to Apple, but you could use whatever other editor you've been using. You could use, if you don't like Notepad, yeah, it's not that. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it's not Notepad. You could use Notepad though. I mean, HTML, you could just use whatever editor you want. I mean, you could use brackets, you could use Notepad, any of these you could use. But once you've saved the file, as long as you save it with an extension of HTML, then it will load in your browser. I mean, that's all we're doing to start in this course, is we're going to write code that will launch in a black browser and that we can sort of look at there. Now, exams, it is a university model. So as far as I know, there are exams in this course and in all courses, and exams are on campus. We won't be doing those remote exams. So you will have to come for that. Same, any software or only Notepad? No. For the exams, will you be able to use whatever software? Well, let's just say when you come into the exam, it will be in a room that is provided by the college. So whatever technology is there, so you should expect to use the technology there. And so it might be that you have to use Notepad. Yeah, whatever technology is there. So I would sort of, get used to those different technologies. Yeah, I expect that the exams will all be in the second floor of this building. And yeah, so as I said, there's only 2 Apple equipped rooms. And so there's more than 2 sections of this course. So it is possible that you may have to use a room that way. Now the reason why I was talking about the editor and stuff is because although the classroom has Apple technology, you may not. It might be that you don't have. If you do have, that's fine. Then you can use the same editor, etc. Because the editor that we use is a free one that you just download. But if you don't have Apple, you could still do it on your Windows-based computer using a Windows. Okay, so I hope that helps. I don't want Notepad. That's fine. Don't worry. Notepad's okay. Notepad++. But yeah, I suppose there are others that are better. That's kind of it for the introduction. I don't know if I know all of you students. Some of you, I think I do know. I think Amr, I think you and I have one of my friends suddenly in an engineering degree. Yeah, that's right. Everybody's in a degree suddenly. You guys are all in a degree of some IT class. Yes, some IT degree. So however, if you don't like that, there may be an exit point, which would be a diploma, which would be a year less. I think that they built that into it. But the way it is automatically anybody who is enrolled in these courses now can have a degree if they stay, right? So, I mean, yeah, because we're a university now. So things change. Yeah, magic. Yeah, boom, magic. Now, about the only 6 classes, 6 students, registration is ongoing. And yeah, so we have like at the moment 5 students registered in this course. And I think they're all here at the moment. So that's very good. Thank you for coming. But I expect that more will come later. I mean, I think we have a maximum number of students that can fit into a lab because of the COVID thing. And, I think it's like 15. So, but I mean, we also have a maximum number of students that we can have in a section. And that I think is like 24. And so you might ask, well, how can you have 24 in a section? And then you can only have 15 in the class. Well, so what we would do is we will make it work so that we don't have more than 15. So I might ask, I might divide the class into 2 parts and say, okay, you guys stay home today, you guys stay home. But on the other hand, if we don't have if we don't get any more than 15 students, then you can all come in at any time. And this is determined by the Ministry of Health. And so that could change because we saw that things changed over the summer. I mean, here we are, we weren't having, well, things have improved, and I'm hoping that they will continue to improve. And maybe before the end of the semester, we can have big classes with everybody here. And one of you mentioned that you had been vaccinated, so that will help. What I understand is that young people, and I think most of you, that was Sultan, since most of you are kind of young, you didn't have to get vaccinated yet. Nobody, now when I say have to, so nobody's going around forcing anybody to be vaccinated. However, so teachers like myself, life is a lot easier for us if we got vaccinated. So you can feel safe that you're not going to catch any COVID from your teachers, I think, because for example, like myself, I've been vaccinated, and if we haven't been vaccinated, then we have to do a PCR test like every week, or else we can't come into work. So yeah, you don't have to worry about that. You're not going to. Can't say definitely you won't catch COVID from anybody, but we're doing what we can to say that that we don't show any danger to our students. I said I've been vaccinated twice. I've had like 5 PCR tests in the last month. They've all been negative, but I needed that to travel because I don't know if you know, but I don't know if you've traveled, but if you're going to travel, it's a lot easier to travel if you've been vaccinated and you have a PCR test. Actually can't travel back to Doha very easily unless you've been vaccinated and had a PCR test. So we have those incentives to get us all. Yes, if you've been vaccinated and you've had a PCR test, you don't need a quarantine. I mean, I found that that is a good incentive because most people like to travel because most people have friends or family that live somewhere else. And so it's a nice thing to travel. So I don't, okay, so Susanna and Amar, those, I think I know you guys, right? Is that right? Have Sultan, have I had any of you students before? OFC. I think we're still talking about, okay, Web 1. Yeah, there we go. Taught us, like all of you? Yeah, okay, there we go. So this is, yeah. See, I thought the names were familiar. You'll be more familiar when I get to see you. So I'm looking forward to that. All right, so I taught you Web 1. So I hope there's not too much sort of overlap. Maybe. But you can never have too much learning in web. I think it's things are being added to it all the time, and it's kind of fun. All right, so as I said, I don't really have any work for you yet. I'm sorry. That's not just me being lazy. That's what my instruction is, to not give you anything yet until we settle the classes. But I was just to get us sort of started and that we know each other. Yeah. Right. So are there any questions of me? All right. So I'm going to give you my number, and I think you know I'm giving you a number if you've been in my class before. What I recommend, and you don't have to do this, but you could, is that somebody in this class makes a WhatsApp group. And if you do make that, then send me an invitation to that group. And what will happen then is that you can post any questions there in times that we're outside of the class. I think it would be a tragedy if your credit wasn't counted. I think that you will find that your credit must be counted. There would probably be a revolution at the college if your credit wasn't counted. I don't think anybody's up for a revolution at the moment. So yeah, okay, so there's the link. So I should go there and I click on that and just join that. Is that what it is? So we got that. That's the group, is it? I'm just trying to sort of get that going that long. Yeah, okay, so it's in Arabic, but I'll just okay, open the link. And web technologies, hooray. And yeah, so I can type in there, I think. Thanks for making that group. And so we're up and away. So as I said, hola, somebody's Spanish. Susanna, are you Spanish? Or you just like Spanish talking? So thank you for doing that. And as I said, WhatsApp is like 24/7 on my phone. It's one of my favorite ways of communicating. So anybody has a question, I do look at it outside of work hours, and I don't mind at all. I'm not 9 to 5. I mean, I don't mind at all. Yes, to look at any things that you have regarding the work. It's not a problem for me. I don't mind it at all. So yeah, don't leave, Amar. I'm pretty sure that you won't have to worry about your class, your credit. It must be that goes with you. So I'll ask you to be patient on that though, Amar, because as I said, things are in a lot of flux, and I think what you'll find is, and I really apologize for this, but you might find that something is said on Sunday and then something else is said, something different is said on Wednesday, this kind of thing, you know what I mean? Until things stabilize. And okay, so I'll tell you why, and this is, I don't want you to get any negative ideas on this, but what I understand is that there's decisions made by people like in the Ministry of Education, higher education, and at the higher college level, that they tend to make decisions quickly, and then what has to happen is that then there's some feedback from the college on how that should be implemented. So that's why this is happening like this, I think. And it could very well be that, in order so the college is going to change its name. It's no longer going to be the College of North Atlantic. It's going to be University of Doha. Is that right? University of Doha for Science and Technology. And so in order to be a university, we had to change all these classes. I think that's what's happening, is that when they looked at that, they said, oh, well, can't really have a university with these diploma things going on here. So we better put everybody in a degree, and then we'll work out the diploma thing afterwards. And as I said, I'm not making any criticism of this. It's kind of nice that things happen quickly. I'm pretty sure that the people that are making those decisions, they do care about you students. I mean, the whole idea of going to a university was based upon a lot of feedback that they got of people wanting to have degrees. Apparently, people thought that was more beneficial to them in their looking for work. So yeah, so don't worry. There will be a lot of sort of adjustments made. Please don't leave the college because if you find that somebody says to you on a Wednesday that they're not going to give you credit, because you might, as I said, on maybe on a Wednesday, they'll say, oh, well, we will give you credit. Just that starting from scratch. Yeah, I don't want you to start from scratch. And the thing about the fees is absolutely a fair comment. And so it would just not be right. And I'm thinking that what I recommend is if, as I said, if somebody says to you on the Monday or the Sunday, we're not going to give you credit for that, persist. And as I said, if there's enough of you got together, you might find on the Wednesday that they were able to give you something that satisfied you better. I really think that that's true. They do want to satisfy the students. Our students, a college or university is nothing without students. And so we need you. And so we definitely the college will be listening to you. Yeah, Charles, we had a little bit of a joke about the acronym, right? I mean, was it going to be Doha University of Science and Technology? Then the acronym would be like dust. Maybe that's why they changed it to University Doha of Science and Technology. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, UDST, that's okay, right? Maybe that means something in some other language, but in English, it doesn't have any negative connotations. Dust, dust is kind of neither negative nor positive. Well, some people might see it negative, right? You try and get dust out of your house. So yeah, UDST, Science and Technology. I like to see an AQ too. Suzanne. But remember what I said, the main thing about the college is the students, absolutely. And so we're relying on you, and we certainly hope that you do stay, and that but you must be happy here. So you need to say what you need to say. If you have any issues, I'm not sure exactly. I wouldn't. Normally I would say if there's issues, I would say, go to Greg or go to Lee, but they're kind of really, really busy at the moment because they just had to make all these changes in the last couple of days. So I would say really kind of hold off for just like a couple of weeks, sort of hang in there, and then start making your voices sort of heard in the, find out the right places. Yeah, University of Doha of Science and Technology. That sounds right. but then start making your voice on what particular things that concern you. So like Amar was saying, the issue of, well, sunk costs in a diploma, which cost money. I mean, it's not like, yeah, it's not just money, it's also opportunity cost of time. Life is important. uh, so yeah, I mean, nobody wants to waste your time or your money. And so I think that those things must be addressed. And I think that I honestly think that you will find that those things will be being addressed. I certainly hope so. Okay. I mean, that's what we're talking about here is kind of what I think we were expected to talk about. Teachers were sort of expecting that students are going to have all of these kinds of questions. And to be honest, it's a dynamic situation. I can't really say, and I'm not involved in the meetings from which these changes are coming. And so, yeah, I can only sort of speculate. Maybe that would make me say the wrong thing. So I think I've said about as much as I can about it, what I think. But I will just stress that, yeah, I mean, we can't really proceed as a university unless we have, the best interests of our students at heart. And I do believe the college does have that. College, the university has, and I do believe that just like myself, everybody else here recognizes that the college is nothing without our students, and yeah, that will be the consideration going forward. So I think you're going to be all right. Okay, so I talked a lot and starting to repeat myself. So any other sort of questions? Okay, we got our WhatsApp going. We sort of had some anxiety about the changes, which is normal because change is hard. And how's life? For me, life is good. Life is good. No, I got teenage kids. One's in Canada at the moment. The other one's in grade 10. So they're keeping me busy and happy. Vacation, we had to move our accommodation. So I moved from one villa to an apartment. And so I spent like 3-4 weeks doing that. That was a lot of work. But at the end of that, it was like the window opened up, and Germany and Austria, they came onto this green list, and I bought a ticket and I went to Germany, to Munich, and I rented a motorcycle and I hung out in the mountains of Austria for 2 weeks. That was awesome. So yeah, thanks for asking. It was great. I loved that. It was just so fun. I'll show you guys some pictures later if you want. I think I put some on Facebook. You guys can navigate to my Facebook page. It's public if you want to see. But yeah, I had a great time in Austria for 2 weeks, and actually cold. It was actually cold, so that's something nice in the middle of summer to go and motorcycles was great. Yes, you're right. I just love riding motorcycles, as you guys know. And so I rented this bike. It wasn't a great bike. It was a 650 that weighed 200 kilos. So, it's like 70 horsepower. It was well and truly enough. I mean, I could pass cars. It was normally I have a bit more powerful bikes, but this was fine. It was just absolutely fine. I just had a great time. So I totally recommend Austria for anybody who wants to see something different in the middle of summer. So I'll tell you what happened with that. I had some motorcycle friends, and they're saying, "Oh, let's rent some bikes. Let's go to Athens and rent some bikes and ride around Greece." And I'm like, yeah, maybe not. I thought to myself, you know what? I think it's too hot in Greece. I'm not going to go to Greece. I got to go somewhere where it's a little bit colder. So look, there's some mountains up there in Austria. I'm going to go there. And sure enough, like the day I got to Austria, Greece started burning, right? They're talking about 50. It's hotter in Greece than it was here. And it was literally burning, like the forests there were burning. And I was quite happy that I went to Pleasanton, not Bruce. Anyways, so that's a lot of me talking, which is, how about you guys? How was your holidays? And you can, did anybody have anything fun at all? Somebody's gonna say something, maybe. Who can see him? Yeah. You guys are still shy. You kind of know me. Stayed home playing games. You know, that's kind of like my daughter. My daughter was like that. My daughter's like, yeah. My daughter, I said to my daughter when I went on my holiday, so she's 15. I said, do turkey? Turkey's nice. Yeah. But I said to my daughter, you know what? You want to come with me on a holiday? And she's like, no. She'd rather stay here because her friends are in Doha. So, I mean, I understand, right? People your age, you don't want to hang out with old people, even if they are your own parents. You'd rather hang out with your own friends. Yeah. Well, anyways, yes, this is the life. Turkey is nice, and I hope you had a nice time there, Susanna. And the good thing about Turkey is it's not as far away as Europe. Well, it's almost in Europe. It's like 4 hours flight instead of, 6 or 8 hours. So any other sort of questions? Okay. Well, I might give you a break from listening to me talk, and we'll have another lesson. When is that? I think it's going to be a lab. I think it's going to be a lab our next time that we meet. So that'll be interesting. And as I said, we've got an evolving situation down here, but do not worry. We've got people working really hard to sort everything out to give you the best outcome. And I'm sure that that's going to be okay. All right, students. So I'm going to finish up. And thanks for coming to class. Yeah, that's all for today. Thanks for coming to class. And even though it was just sort of rambling, and you guys have a nice day too. Take care. See you all soon. Bye-bye.